Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're from, whoever you are, whatever you're doing right now. Thank you for watching. Hey, you're watching a video of mine right now, so that's a bit of a stupid thing to say. Anyway, welcome back to Artisan Electrics. It's an office day for me today. This is my home office. Just received some Hager Gang t-shirts, so that is awesome. Thanks to Hager. But I've just got a call from one of our regular customers, an elderly couple who are in a bit of a panic because they've got no power. It's snowing outside, as you can see the snow on the ground, and basically they've got no power and they're getting cold, and the husband is really unwell anyway and has been advised by his medical practitioners to not get cold. So I'm going to jump in the Tesla, which needs defrosting, so I'll show you how that works in the app. Jump in the Tesla. I'm just going to grab some test gear, some screwdrivers and hand tools and stuff, and just go over there and see if I can sort it out for them. So hit a thumbs up and let's see what the problem is. Right, so I'm all changed, ready to go. Let's jump in the Tesla. Hopefully it should be defrosting as we speak. Let's see, that's the first time I've had to do this. So we'll see how it goes. Right, so here she is. She's starting to melt, which is nice. And you can probably hear in the background there's quite a lot of noise going on. So it's basically heating up inside because it was 2 degrees in the car when I checked earlier. So I've just set it in the app to heat up and it should warm up to like 21 degrees. It's probably going to burn through the battery, but who cares? I've got a full charge and I just want to be able to shoot off. But I think I'm going to have to manually get some of this snow off because I don't really have time to wait for half an hour for it to completely melt. Okay, Tesla, this is a big problem. So I've just opened the boot to try to, oh man, ay. So basically this slides and it goes straight in the boot. I'm trying to put some stuff in the boot and basically the whole boot is going to be full of snow now. So that is a bad design. Tesla, sort it out. Oh man, that is so annoying. Right, so that was really annoying. But anyway, I'm inside now. I've just had an update overnight, which is quite cool. So we've got some improvements to look forward to. But it's nice and warm in here actually already. You can see most of the windscreen is melted now. If I just, there we go. Woohoo! There we go. So I'm pretty much good to go, to be honest. The glass roof is obviously covered in snow still, but that doesn't really matter. So I'm going to head over to this job now. I've just chucked a few tools in the back. I just feel safer driving in this than I do in my van. And it's just a small job, so I don't really need many tools. So I've got my multifunction tester, some hand tools and a step ladder in the back. I've got to do a few errands while I'm out as well. So yeah, let's get over there and see what the problem is. By the way, I've lost like 20 miles of battery just by heating the car up. So interesting thing to note. Let's go. So this is my first time driving the Tesla in the snow, and I must say, so far, it's sticking to the road like glue, which is great. The windscreen wiper sensor is going a little bit nuts because it's probably covered in snow, but it just feels so nice. If I was driving the van right now, I would be a little bit nervous. You know, I'm confident enough driving in the snow, of course, but it doesn't happen very often, and so you have to be careful. Now, I'm not saying I'm not going to be careful in this, but it's just that it's a four-wheel drive vehicle at the end of the day, and so it's got these amazing, like, grippy sport tyres. So it sticks to the road like glue, basically, in most conditions. And it's heavy as well, you know, because of the batteries. It weighs like a lot, this car. Like, the thing I was worried about when I got it is actually the damage that it would do to my driveway because my driveway is just a gravel drive and I was a bit worried about how it would cope with the weight of the Tesla. Now that's saying something because I've got a big heavy van full of tools on the driveway as well, but you know, I think this is heavier than the van. So yes, anyway, heading over to this job and we'll see if we can get these poor people sorted out with some power. I always like to guess what the problem is before I go to a job like this. So today, I'll give you a little bit of background right on this. So this is a customer I've been working for years and years. They live in the village where I used to live, where I grew up. So before this company, I worked for them with my previous company as well. And they're an elderly couple. I think, an EICR there sort of originally because they were having a few issues. Then we changed the consumer unit, and this is, you know, we're talking probably 8 years ago maybe or something. We did the consumer unit change. We just put in an MK, I think it's an MK dual RCD board off the top of my head, but I can't be 100% sure. It might be a single RCD board in there. It's one of the MK plastic boards anyway, because that's what we were fitting at the time. And the issue that we often get with these MK boards when it comes to faults is that with the MK RCDs of a certain age, you had to push the MK RCD switch down before you could put it back up to reset it. When they trip into the middle position, and it looks like it's down, but if you try and flick it up, it just won't go. So you have to push it down and then up in order to reset it. And you would not believe the number of customers who I've had over the years that have just literally not been able to figure out how to reset those RCDs. So now MK have changed them, and I think, you know, I don't know of any other brands who have this stupid middle reset, middle or trip position thing, because it was a stupid idea. Probably created a lot of money in call outs for electricians who simply came and just pushed it down and up again and it was reset. But it's just a classic. So if anyone's got a trip fault now, what I always say to them to do is push it all the way down and then up to the top and see if that works. And often it does if it's an MK RCD. So I tried to explain that to this gentleman and lady over the phone, but they were in a little bit of a flap, and the husband can't really talk because he sort of lost his hearing now, and the wife, the consumer unit's a little bit high, it's in the hallway at the sort of ceiling height, so I don't want the wife to be going up on a step ladder and trying to reset the RCD. So I'm just gonna go and figure it out. I'm hoping it's literally just a case of resetting the RCD, that's what I'm guessing. But it might not be, it might be an actual fault, which is going to be a bit of a pain if it is, because it's supposed to be an office day today, it's not supposed to be a fault finding day. So anyway, fortunately it's not far from where I live. I'm literally 2 minutes away already, and I'm just going to jump in there and see what I can do. Hopefully, like I say, it's an easy one, but you just never know with these kind of things. I mean, if the RCD has tripped, then obviously there's a reason, but with a lot of these properties where there are sort of elderly people and stuff like that, they don't always have LED lamps. They have incandescent lamps, and what happens often is just an incandescent lamp will blow and it will trip the RCD. I don't know why it does that, it just does. It happens a lot. So it could be that that's just happened and it's a case of resetting the RCD, or it could be a real pig and there's a fault which needs to be sorted out. So we shall see. Let me know in the comments if you know why an RCD will trip when an incandescent lamp blows. I know that there's a lot of science buffs out there. I mean, basically it's just some kind of imbalance, isn't it, that it creates very briefly when the lamp blows, but it's not actually shorting out to earth or anything, so I don't really understand why it would blow the RCD and not an MCB. I can understand why it'd blow an MCB if you know, there was a real high amount of current for that one, you know, few milliseconds when the RCD tripped. I would understand why it would blow the MCB, but not necessarily why it would blow the RCD. So it's an interesting one. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, what you would guess that this fault will be. It has been quite wet and snowy. I mean snowy today, but yesterday it was quite wet as well. So it could be the other thing, the reason it might have tripped is that there might be water got into one of the light fittings or something like that. That is a possibility. But anyway, the Tesla is handling beautifully. You know, I just love this car and I just take every excuse that I can to drive it around. The amount of times that I just throw my tools in the back for a small job and just work out of this is just, it's great. It's just so nice to drive. Much nicer than driving a van around. So if Tesla make a van, then I'm definitely on board. But as you can see, there are a few annoying little things like that snow thing. I mean, I would have never known that until today when it decided to snow. That is a very stupid design issue, especially as, you know, they're designed in the USA where, okay, I'm just gonna throw it around a little bit and see if it slips. No, it doesn't. It's absolutely glued to the road, this thing. It's amazing. I can't even skid it, you know? Like if I just jump into the snow, it's amazing. Anyway, yeah, design issues. Obviously there are a few things. I mean, it's just, wow, there's some beautiful new houses being built there. It was designed in the USA, so they have a lot of snow there, right? So why did they not think of that? Stupid. But anyway, I'll forgive them because they made an amazing, beautiful car in general that is a pleasure to drive. So here we are, just about to pull up. See you inside. For goodness sake, I've just opened the boot again and the snow has all gone inside. That is just so annoying. Literally how to ruin your car. The snow has now melted into a disgusting puddle of water in the back here, which I'm going to have to get towels and soak up. So that is very upsetting, to be honest. Let me know in the comments if you're a Tesla owner and you have had this problem, and what would you do about it to soak all that up, because that is a real nightmare. As always, if you enjoy my videos, don't forget to smash the thumbs up button and share it out with someone else who might enjoy it. And thanks for watching. See you on the next one.